This week on the Fieldgulls football snapshot, I wanted to take a look at special teams and its future going forward. We've seen a lot of changes over the last few years as teams have made an effort to reduce the exposure to injury to other players. We've seen wedges banned on kickoffs. This is where three players grab hands and attempt to go bull over other players. And we've seen the increase from the basic kickoff position of 30 yards to 35, resulting in more touchbacks. However, instead of just throwing up the white flag and saying anytime you're in the end zone, take a knee, most special teams coaches have gone, if you're in the front five of the end zone, take the ball out and go ahead and return. What I mean by front five is that the end zone is 10 yards deep, and the first 5 yards would be the front half of the end zone. Of course, any deeper, and you risk being stopped too short or too close to the end zone, or having something really catastrophic happen. So that's really how they've adapted. Now, this person wanted to know if I saw more drastic results happening in terms of just banning the kickoff altogether, where field goals go from here in terms of how they'll be assessed, and also if punt returns may be considered for reduction in their use. And all I have to say to this is that I don't think punts will ever disappear. I don't think field goals will ever disappear. I do think, however, that kickoffs could be considered something that they want to do away with in some fashion. In some way, they want to do away with kickoffs. Where that goes, I'm not sure. And do we end up with a more arena league style of play, or worse yet, do we end up with NFL blitz where you have 4 downs to score, and if you don't get the ball down the field, you end up right back at the 30-yard line? I think it's interesting to note that the big change that would occur wouldn't just be to the game, and it could actually be good or at least very interesting. And one thing is that it would increase roster space. What I mean is, you wouldn't have more players per se. You'd still have 53. But usually, given any year, there's 4 or 5 guys on a roster specifically for their ability to play special teams. And if you're using, if there's no punting or perhaps a reduced kicking role, you could see that position become available as well. So then you have 6 positions that are suddenly just freed up for prospects, projects, whatever you got, plus your practice squad of 8 players. So now you have a much more chance to maybe hang on to that guy you're expecting to do great things, but can't really affect special teams the way that you want, or any other number of things. I just think it's a really interesting but complex topic. I think the NFL would be really dumb if it decided to drastically reduce the effect of special teams on the game, because I don't really see what the difference is, that the difference is so large that it would be worthwhile. But maybe you guys have an opinion that's different than mine here. I'd love to hear your thoughts. It's a bit of a complex topic, and I'll see you next week.